Winchester family. Today is the top tips on how to care for Christmas/Easter cactuses, and then I'll get into my regular plant updates. A couple weeks ago, I gave you tips on how to care for orchids indoors. Now I'm going to give you a few tips on how to care for Christmas/Easter cactuses indoors as well. So this, I'm thinking, is a Easter cactus right here, and this one is a Christmas cactus. Side by side, you can kind of tell the difference, but they require the same care, basically. So I have tried full water culture with them. It doesn't really work well with them, in my experience. So I put them back in the soil. The soil I use is Miracle-Gro Moisture Control, and never overwater them. That is my go-to soil. So if you are a newbie and you're scared of overwatering your plants, definitely get the Miracle-Gro Moisture Control. That way you never overwater your plants, because the soil will feed your plant as it is needed. So you don't have to worry about, did I water it? Should I water it again? Don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Trust me, I've been there. It's no fun. So I have soil in it. It is suggested that you have holes, have a container that has holes in the bottom, and have a little tray to gather the water. I like these type of the clay trays because it absorbs the water so quick, so you don't have to worry. But if excess comes out of the pots, it's not going to go all over where your plant is at the time. So that clay trays are the best to get for that. So you want to get the best soil, which I recommend a moisture control soil. You want to get a container that has holes in the bottom, because that's, in my experience, that has been working quite well for my plants. So you want to get a container with holes. You want to get a tray. It doesn't have to be a clay tray. Just get a tray that you feel comfortable with. I like the clay tray because it absorbs the water for you. And you want to, I use regular water. I use tap water. I don't use like a special kind of water. I just been watering this guy with just regular tap water, and it's growing like crazy right now. Regular tap water works. I water them once a week. They are cactus, so they don't need a lot of water. So I just water them about once a week, and they thrive on that. And every 2 weeks, you are going to need to fertilize them. I use Miracle-Gro All-Purpose Fertilizer. That is the fertilizer that I use every 2 weeks. It is a tablespoon per gallon. I just use a 1/8 since I don't use a whole gallon of water. So you just want to make sure you got the right soil for them, you have the right container for them, you have a tray for them, so you don't have water going everywhere, because not all the water is going to stay in the soil. Some of it's going to drain out, so you kind of need a tray to do that. You want to fertilize them every 2 weeks as it says on the package. Follow the instructions on the package. If you don't use a whole gallon of water to feed your Christmas or Easter cactuses, kind of do the math on how much water you use, and that's how much fertilizer you should use, which is what I did. I did the math on that, and I figured I just need a 1/8 tablespoon. Perfect. So yeah, that's basically it. You just do that every week or so. I water them every week, and you just wait till they start growing. Christmas cactuses will start blooming in the fall. They usually start blooming around October, November to about New Year's. Easter cactuses, I'm not sure because I don't have a lot of experience of when they bloom. But if you really want to know the blooming season for Easter cactuses, you can just use Google. I use it for every question I have, and it will give you a ballpark of when Easter cactuses are supposed to bloom for you. I have a lot of experience in Christmas cactuses. That's why I know that they usually bloom around October, November time to about New Year's. That's usually the blooming session for them. And then the blooms fall off. But trust me, the blooms are beautiful. They will fall off, and then they will start growing for the next season. So you just water them once a week, use a fertilizer every 2 weeks, and they should grow amazingly. Because this guy has been in soil, and I just feed it with fertilizer every 2 weeks. I water it once a week, and it's growing a bunch of leaves, as you can see right there. So that is basically all the tips I have for growing Christmas or Easter cactuses, because they basically have the same kind of temperament. They are from the cactus family, so you don't want to overwater them, which is why I suggest the moisture control soil. You can find this at any hardware store. I actually found mine at Kmart. So Kmart, Walmart, places like that should have, if they have a lawn section, they should have soil and fertilizer and all that kind of stuff. I have them indoors. I have them by this window, which has light every morning. Not today, obviously, because it's pouring outside and Tropical Storm Emily is here in Florida. So they have this light from this window. They have light from the back door here. So they have plenty of light that comes in for them. So they get plenty of light. They can be in direct sunlight. They can be in shaded sunlight. It just depends. They don't really have a preference on sunlight. I found they don't really have a preference on much of anything. So get the right soil. Get the fertilizer, the all-purpose fertilizer that says they work for Christmas or Easter cactuses. You gotta make sure it has that on there, because if not, you're gonna be risking your plants. I have all-purpose flour, all-purpose Miracle-Gro fertilizer that I use every 2 weeks. Water it about once a week. So yeah, that's all the tips I have for my Christmas or Easter cactuses. So now let's get into my plant update. So first, we are going to start with my aloe plant. Here's my aloe doing marvelously. The leaves are growing quite well. There's no signs of distress. Usually if there's a sign of distress, I would think that the leaves would start to wither away, but no, it's not getting its spot. So now we're going to move on to a couple of my Christmas cactuses here. So these two are growing. They're growing so well. This one grew a new leaf, and I think it's going to grow another one. Pretty sure it's going to grow another one. And this one used to be like very winkly and all that, but now it's not, which means it has enough water to sustain it right there. And then we're going to move on to this big guy. This big guy. This guy also was very wrinkly, and it took a few weeks before it started to not be like that anymore. So now it's getting to the point where it's going to start growing more leaves, and hopefully by this Christmas, around October, November, somewhere in there, it will start producing buds, and it'll look so pretty. And I have a pretty cactus to show you guys. It's going to be awesome. So my next are my 3 Christmas cactuses that I have on one tray. So we're going to start in the back with this guy. Look at this guy. It's growing. I believe this guy was a little bit wrinkly as well, but as you can see, there's a new leaf right there. A new leaf. It's so pretty. So as time goes on, it's going to grow more and more leaves to get ready for its blooming season, which is around October to New Year's, and sometimes a little beyond, depending on the Christmas cactus, if it decides to stay blooming or not. But yeah, this guy is growing quite well. We got a new leaf. So it's only a matter of time before it starts growing more and more leaves. If you've seen my tips video, if you keep doing what I say to do, it'll keep getting better. So here is my other Christmas cactus. This guy was all wrinkly as well. So it's growing quite well. This one does not have any new leaves on it, but as you can see right there, it's growing something. I won't know what it is until it's growing a little bit more, so in the next few weeks. I'll be able to tell if it's a leaf or if it's a bloom. Right now, it's an unknown. It's an unknown at this point. And here is my last Christmas cactus. And as you can see, it's growing lots of leaves. There are leaves everywhere. Everywhere. It's like every time you look at it, there's a new leaf you didn't see before. So it's growing lots and lots of leaves, which is very, very good. That's a sign, if it's growing leaves for you, that's a sign it's happy. It's very happy. So many leaves. Oh my God, I can't help it. So now we're going to move on to my Phalaenopsis orchids. I have some very, very exciting news for this one. Here is my big tough guy. My big tough guy right here. This guy is so freaking tough. I love it. So tough. But what I noticed last night and why I'm really, really excited about this is right there is a root. It's a root. You can tell it's a root because it's coming through the leaves. A flower spike will go in between the leaves. They won't go through the leaves. They'll go in between. So we got a new root, which means what I'm doing is working. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it. People say I'm crazy because I love my plants. I don't care. I love my plants. They're so pretty. Especially when they bloom. Oh my God, they're so pretty. The only plant I have that doesn't bloom is my aloe. But the mother plant is blooming outside. So I might be wrong about that. So, so then we have this big one. Look at this guy. Last night, in preparation for this video, I went through the roots and I cut off all the roots that were bad. So that's all the roots I have left, but it's enough. This got some water right here. So it's enough. And these flowers have not fallen off. So I'm very, very excited. I was worried because they put in fertilizer too long. The first time I put in fertilizer. And I was worried that all the flowers are going to fall off. They didn't. This one's tough. I have two tough ones. I do. So this week, I believe, is fertilizing week. And what I do when I fertilize my orchids now is, let me get this guy back inside here. There we go. You're back inside. What I do is I put the fertilizing water, which is distilled water or rain water, since it is pouring outside right now. And I put it in a dish, a big dish, big enough to fit my orchids into, and I let them sit in the fertilizer for an hour. Then I take them out. I put them back in their containers with clear, fresh water if needed. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. Because if the water is nice and clear, you don't have to change it. So there's that. And then I put them back in the water, and that's it. That's all I do every 2 weeks. I use 2 different fertilizers for 2 different orchids. I have a bloom booster for the one that's in bloom, and then I have the growing booster for the one that's growing. And it's working because it's growing a new root. I'm so happy. I'm super, super excited that it's growing a new root because that tells me it's happy. It's going to continue to grow, and it's going to give me some blooms one day. I'm so excited. Oh, my God. I don't like it when people tell me I'm weird because I love my plants. It's just, plants are a living thing as well. So that's that. I'm just so excited that this tough guy right here is growing a root after 6 months. I tracked it down because this is the same orchid that I showed you how to transplant into a water culture. That was 6 months ago. So it's been in water culture for 6 months, and I started using the fertilizer about a month ago. So it's telling me it's really, really happy in the rain. Really, really bad outside. It's a good thing I have to go to work today. Oh my God. So yeah, that is going to be it for this week's plant update. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys really, really soon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for my cross stitch row speed pattern.